Hello and welcome to the 217th episode of The Hot Issue. I am Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza. Today my program will be kind of multilingual because I'm going to speak in English for the benefit of my Afghan friends and also in Urdu or Hindi for the benefit of my audience in India, Pakistan and diaspora. Today I want to talk about Afghanistan once again. You see, the situation in Afghanistan is said to be getting worse by the hour. What I have got at the moment, the latest situation is so far is that Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, two terrorist organizations that have been very active in Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir, have now been reported to have joined the Taliban in Afghanistan in their fight to capture more and more districts. Now, this Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed both are Pakistani brainchild, both are controlled by the ISI. They are ISI's extended arm for proxy wars in the region. We all know that, which means that Pakistan is directly involved in the war against the Afghan government. I mean, we can hide our head in the sand like an ostrich and refuse in admitting that Pakistan is actually behind the Taliban's this speedy advance, but that would not change the fact. Now, other details that I have just got hold of very quickly is that 191 Taliban are reported killed in battles in the past 24 hours and 102 have been wounded. Well, these figures can increase or they can, already they must have increased because this news has come about 2 or 3 hours ago. So the fight is still going on and things are in a flux. Now, what is the strategy of Taliban? The Taliban strategy is multi-layered, or it has got more than one, they have adopted more than one strategy as a collective strategy. This main strategy is to capture Afghanistan and defeat the Ashraf Ghani's military forces. That is the main strategy. Now, for that main strategy, they are applying different tactics, right? So one of their tactics main was they started with a bang, with a surprise, and they started capturing a lot of districts, one after the other, and that sent panic all across Afghanistan army, the government, and also the silent majority that supports the Afghan president Ashraf Ghani, or even if they don't support him, they don't want Taliban to come to power. So it sent panic, there was a panic effect, there was a disbelief that this could have happened. How could Taliban have just left the table or negotiating table and picked up their guns and gone off into the battlefields? But I'm not surprised because I think like a fighter, I think like a military man, I think like a revolutionary fighter. So that is why maybe what I say is not very conventional. Like people normally come on television or even the YouTube channels and they start talking about the possibilities of Taliban. If Taliban comes into power, what is going to be the scenario then? Is India going to be harmed? Is China behind this? How long can the Ashraf Ghani government last? I don't look at this whole situation in this way. I see how can we defeat the Taliban? What steps are necessary to be taken at this very moment to consolidate the power of Ashraf Ghani? What should be the role of the neighbors? What should be the role of ethnic groups that are living in Pakistan? What should be the Baloch and the Pashtun and the Sindhis who are living in Afghanistan on asylum, what should their role be? How should we construct a counter insurgency strategy? How can we push them back? I think like that. I'm a man of the battlefield. I'm not a diplomat. I'm not talking about let us negotiate with Russia, let's bring in Russia, let's bring in China, let's talk to the Taliban. I don't believe in talking to the Taliban. The Taliban are enemies, not my personal enemy, but they are enemies of humanity. They are the enemies of the very values for which Afghanistan has been known for centuries. The values that are dear to the Afghans. What are they? Hospitality, open-heartedness, open-mindedness, equal opportunities for women. You know, there are so many things. So a normal society has today been crushed. It has the normal way of life of Afghans has been destroyed, and that is why we have to defeat the Taliban. There can be no negotiations with Taliban. I am totally opposed to the idea that there should be a coalition government in Kabul to bring peace. There will be no peace with coalition government. The formation of coalition government will only work as a pretext to breaking out of another war. They will, we can't trust them. We have to defeat them. We have to eliminate them. We have to wipe out the Taliban from the face of the earth. Full stop. Now, what is their strategy? They started from the north. They captured a couple of dozen of districts of Afghanistan up in the north, near Turkmenistan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. And then what they did, the second tactics was to cut key revenue sources to the Afghan government by seizing dry ports for goods that were supposed to be shipped overseas. So what ports have they so far captured? Dry ports. They have captured Islam Killa. They have captured Targundi border, this dry port, Shirkan Bandar. They have, so 3 ports they have so far managed to capture. Afghanistan has got 8 dry ports. So the Kabul, Mazar-e-Sharif, Torkham, Akina and Spin Buldak, these are still in the hands of Afghans. Now let me emphasize that by capturing these dry ports, they are actually cutting down revenue resources or revenue sources of the Afghan government. The Qilla, Islam Qilla, only Islam Qilla's monthly revenue is approximately $20 million. $20 million worth of revenue has now been, is in the control of the Taliban, and that money is now going to the Taliban. And it is these dry ports on the border of Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, the Afghan forces that were there providing security, it is them who in panic fled, which was the right thing to do. If you have not got enough might and force to confront your enemy, it is better to retreat and fight another day instead of, going on a suicide mission. So they did the right thing. Now they are coming back to Kabul and we will see what happens. So this is the situation. Okay, so this is another tactics. And the third tactic, they are heading towards all those cities and the provinces where these dry ports are, so that they can cut the financial revenue source for Afghan government, right? Okay. Now, my dear friends, my Afghan brothers and sisters, there are two ways to look at this. Number one, that we are losing the war against the Taliban, and the other is that we are winning the war against Taliban. The Taliban have very conveniently revealed their true nature once again, but this time there has been a gap between the Taliban of the 1996 and the Taliban of 2021. In between, people of Afghanistan have experienced the hypocrisy not only of the Afghan warlords who have sat in the National Assembly and done nothing but corruption and destroyed the will of people to fight back. Why are the soldiers laying down arms in certain areas? Not all over Afghanistan, but in certain areas. They don't have the will to fight. How do you create a will to fight? You create a will to fight by creating something that they are proud to defend. What are they defending? This Afghan National Assembly that is full of bigots, that is full of greedy maggots? No. That is why I say Afghanistan is entering a new phase. In the form of Ashraf Ghani, we have to support him, whether we like it or not. We must support Ashraf Ghani by all means and try and keep him in power for as long as possible. Meanwhile, push back the Taliban. You see, the fight between Taliban and us should be understood as fight between evil and good. If evil is not there, then good ceases to exist. Similarly, if good is not there, then there is no point in confronting the evil. So our struggle depends upon the strength of the good or the evil. If the strength of good enhances, increases, becomes order of the day, then as a society we propel forward towards progress, towards prosperity, towards वो जो अल्लामा इकबाल को तो मैं मानता नहीं हूँ, लेकिन चलो उसने कहा था, वैसे कहते हैं खुशहाल खान खट्टक ने कहा था कि सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं. Then we march towards claiming the universe, तस्खीर कायनात की जानब हम बढ़ते हैं. So now, if we doze off, then we give evil a chance to subjugate us, right? And then evil grows. When evil grows, societies regress. They go backward. That is why no society, whether good or evil, can ever claim that their system is irreversible. That is why when the Soviet Union was there, and I was very young and I went to the Soviet Union as well, and I toured all over, I used to laugh at people who used to say that socialism has triumphed and socialism has, communism is here now to stay. Same thing with China. When I went to China, I used to, find it very, very naive of people to think that with the rise of Mao Zedong and the rise of the Red Sun, over the East, capitalism can never come back. I was there in 1979 and 80 when Shankan cities, all of these new cities were sprung in Guangdong province. I was there. I saw the revival or the reversal of that society back into capitalism. And you can see today China has become a monster. Its imperialist imperialistic expansionism is destroying our region. But that is for another occasion. We can discuss that. Now, what should we do as Afghans, as neighbors of Afghanistan? Well, is this not true that the Pashtuns living under the occupation of Pakistan on this side of the Durand Line have never accepted the Durand Line? Is it not true that in 1947, at the time of partition, Nehru and the Congress abandoned Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan? Is this not true? And Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan complained about it. So, today is the best chance for us to get rid of Pakistani oppression in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa as well as the Taliban. So what I suggest we should be talking about is not whether the Taliban is capturing this or capturing that and create an atmosphere of fear. We should diffuse this atmosphere of fear and we should give a call for Durand Line to be cancelled, for the Pashtuns in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to rise to the occasion and join the Afghan government. Pakistan Army can do nothing about it at this stage. Nothing. Revolutions, freedoms, independence of nations who have been subjugated by others is always achieved during the period of war, my friends, always. This is not the time to talk about peace. This is the time to extend the war from the borders of Afghanistan into all neighboring countries where some people are living in subjugation. The second thing I think we should do is we should transform the war against Taliban into a civil war. In order for Afghanistan to be born again, we have to go through this painful but unavoidable stage that I call civil war. Ashraf Ghani should arm the people. Every single Afghan should be armed to fight against the Taliban. They should be organized in small, regional, provincial and even neighborhood level war committees. These war committees should guide the fight against the Taliban in their neighborhood, in their district, in their province. This is not the time to go to Russia and ask Putin for help. For God's sake, who are we? We are Afghans, man. We don't go begging people for help. We help ourselves. Hence, this is what I have to say to you. Rise to the occasion. We will fight them on the mountains. We will fight the Taliban in the streets. We will fight them in the rivers. But we will not give in till each and every Pakistani sponsored terrorist is eliminated from the land of Afghanistan. Long live Afghanistan. Long live Afghan people.